entertainment bullseye every week with her hard riding. Straight shooting. And suspense.
Here comes the boss.
Hi, boss.
Hi, Trem. We were getting worried about you.
Howdy, boys. We're all set.
Hey, what about the sheriff?
I tricked him and his deputy out of town. Annie's watching the office. And who's afraid of a girl?
I am when it comes to Annie Oakley. Or she can make a six-gun shoot sideways.
I've even got a way to get her. Potts Weber's in town with that traveling tin shop of his. Chet Sterling's over at Brockett's bar. Won't you ride on in ahead, see if you can't rib Chet into shooting up Potts' wagon? Nobody will think of tying it in with us because it's the kind of fool thing that Chet's always doing. And it'll bring Annie out in the open where we can get a shot at her.
Yeah, well, as long as she ain't shooting at me.
Some of it comes from California. Now, for instance, there's a pan right there. You can have that pan for 85 cents. Only 85 cents. Here's one. You can have for $1.15. That's a perfectly good pan.
Stop playing around, Tagg. Hurry up now, and don't forget to wash the back of your neck.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, Annie, the soap's gone. Get it, will ya? Ouch! You got a bullseye, Annie. But the soap's gone again.
Tagg, Oakley, you get your own soap.
Sure wish I had a pretty gal to iron my shirts.
Don't you want her for anything else, Lofty?
Oh, now, Annie.
Oh, now, Lofty. You get on your top horse and ride out to the Bear Valley Junction and meet Uncle Luke right away. It's important.
Well, what's it all about? I'm the only deputy left in
I
town.
can handle things around here. It's about those rustlers that are working out there. Uncle Luke might need you.
I'm on my way. Now, ladies, all this merchandise I've got is all first.
Say, I bet you can't send her that skillet.
$5?
$5.
Now, for instance, there's a pan right there.
It's got a hole in it.
What, that little hole?
Plug her now.
We dip our hand later.
Are you all right?
Whoa! Oh, the dat blame wagons are going so dat blame fast, I couldn't get them with dat blame feet.
Oh, well, I'm dad blame glad to see you're not badly hurt.
You're dat blame right.
Are you able to drive back to town?
You're dat blame tootin'.
Well, I'll get my horse.
Yeah. Oh.
here. Come to my place later.
You did it.
Trem Barton?
Yeah, I saw him take the sack right into his home.
But are you sure the men you followed were the ones who robbed the bank?
I never left him, Annie.
Trem Barton is well thought of around here.
Well, yeah, he's a friend of Frank Sterling, president of the bank.
Just the same, I saw him. Go on and arrest him, Annie. You can do it. You're acting for Uncle Luke. Come on, don't be afraid. I'll side you.
I'll side you. Just your say-so isn't enough for me to arrest Trem Barton. I've got to get more information from Mr. Sterling. Come on, Target. Where do you think you're going?
To the bank with you.
How about that Kenlin? Did you cut it like I told you?
Oh, I'll do it after.
After what?
Oh, just after.
You do it right this minute. Now, come on, boy,
Oh,
move.
please let me walk to the bank with you.
Oh, all right. And then you get to that Kenlin, you hear me?
How could anybody hear anything else?
Your misbehavior drove your father to an early grave. Now you're holding me up to ridicule with escapades like that with Potts Weber this morning. All day, people have been dropping in here telling me what a rowdy my nephew is. I've had enough of it.
Shut up. I'm gonna annoy you just 24 hours longer, Uncle Frank. I'll be 21 tomorrow, and when you settle up my father's estate, I'll be gone from this dust puddle. How much is that estate anyway? You never would tell me.
And I can't tell you now. You see, the bank lost a large amount in government bonds in today's holdup.
What's that got to do with my estate?
Just this. Recently, I invested your holdings in United States bonds. Now, if those bonds are amongst those stolen today, you won't have much coming.
If it turns out that I'm broke, I'll kill you.
I don't think you'll kill anybody, Chet. You know, I'm getting awful tired of shooting things out of your hand. Now, you be a good boy, or Annie'll spank.
We were discussing my nephew's inheritance, and his temper slipped a little.
Must have slipped a long way. You were ready to commit murder.
Killing him wouldn't be murder.
Now, look, Chester. A complete checkup is being made now. If you'll return at 8 o'clock tonight, I'll have more information for you.
It better be good.
His temper still seems to be slipping.
I don't know what to do about Chester.
Ever try putting him to work?
Work, Chester? You don't know him.
Maybe I know him better than you think I do. But I didn't come here to talk about Chester. I'd like to get some information on the holdup.
There isn't much I can tell you now. They were masked, and there was a great deal of excitement.
Well, maybe I'd better come back tonight and get your report on the losses, Mr. Sterling.
Why? Where's the sheriff?
Well, Uncle Luke is investigating some rustling up in Bear Valley. He and Lofty Craig should be back tonight or tomorrow.
Oh, no, no, no. Watch. Rock him off balance with your left, then belt him with your right. Like that.
Gosh, I bet you can really box.
I fought some pretty good men.
Did you whip him?
All of them.
Gosh. Boy, that's a sharp shirt you're wearing.
Had it handmade over in Silver City.
I bet it cost at least $25.
35.
Gosh.
Woman over there makes them 6 at a time for me.
You got 5 more?
Yep.
Gosh, 6 shirts.
Here comes that gun-slinging sister of yours.
And is she sore at you for shooting up Pop Weber's wagon?
I only shot off a couple of caps to scare him. She might have killed me.
Not unless she was aiming to. She can shoot a stone out of a fingering and never touch her hand.
Oh, she can shoot some. In a gunfight, I'd have her shot before she had her gun out of the holster.
That's pretty fast, Chet.
It's the truth.
I bet it is, too. I still think you're the best shot, Annie. But I think Chet could beat you to the draw.
I'll show you. Reach, Annie. You bounced that bullet off that stove.
Sure. If your angle's right, you can just about figure which way your ricochet will go.
Maybe I'd better shut up about being so fast on the draw.
Mm-hmm. That kind of talk only leads to trouble. No matter how good you are, there's always somebody that's just a shade better. You know, you ought to stop talking about killing people, too, Chet. Folks don't like that kind of talk in a man.
Yeah? Well, let me tell you something. Just because you're good with a gun, you think you can tell people what to do. Well, folks don't like that in a girl either. Especially me. I like my girls feminine.
Well, maybe I'm pretty good in that department, too. Come on, Tagg.
What's the matter, Annie? You stewing about Chet Sterling? I wish you'd quit. Chet's a good guy.
He's a good guy for you to stay away from. Boys aren't expected to have any sense, but grown men are expected to have some. And bother Chet Sterling. I'm worried about Trem Barton.
What for?
He just went in the bank.
That's twice he's been to the bank today.
Maybe he's going to deposit the withdrawal he made this morning. Say, while he's in the bank, let's run over and take a look at his place. Oh, Tagg, run over to the blacksmith shop and borrow a pair of hoof clippers.
What for?
Never mind, just do it.
All right, all right.
That pyramid's into a tidy sum, Trem. You took $12,000 in currency. That was Treasury Department money, earmarked for the Denver Mint. Now, they'll make that good. And then...
Say, if that's the case, why not double the ante?
In what way?
Tell them the bandit's got 24,000.
Well, that's a good idea, Trem. You're quite a financier. We'll do that. Then, there are the bonds. $70,000 worth. I've already paved a way to tell my nephew that they were his bonds.
That show-off isn't gonna like that.
Now, he's already threatened to kill me.
He won't. Just talk.
Precisely my view. What did you do with the bonds and the money, Trem?
Put the sack away where no one will ever find it or even think of it.
And where would that be?
In the coal scuttle in my living room.
That's very good, Trem. We'll divide it tomorrow. And if you're staying in town, let's have dinner together.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't. I promised Phil Kobe I'd ride over to his ranch for supper tonight. I need a shave. I'll see you later, Frank.
Right.
This is close enough. Remember what I told you now.
I don't know if it's gonna work.
You do as I told you, and it will. Come on, Tagg. Come on.
Hey, what? Here comes that Oakley brat.
Wonder where her shooting sister is.
Some town plain sheriff, most likely. What's your trouble, bub?
Can I get some help? Pixie threw a shoe.
Well, the shoe came off clean. Didn't bust the hoof up none.
It ain't gonna kill that crowbait to go back to town barefoot?
Pixie ain't no crowbait, and no horse of mine's going barefoot.
Ah, there's a real hand. Looks to his horse first.
Trem.
You didn't expect me, Frank.
Of course I didn't. You said you were going to Kobe's.
And I did. But all through supper, something kept telling me I'd better get back. You timed it well, Frank. I wasn't gone over 2 hours.
What are you talking about?
You brazen hypocrite! You stole the money at Bond's while I was at Kobe's.
You must be crazy. I haven't been out of this office.
Can you prove that?
No, I can't, but...
You see, it had to be you. You were the only other person on earth who knew where they were.
I tell you,
You tell me nothing. Come up with the bonds and money, fast.
Chet, what's going on here? Lofty, back already?
Yeah, bad news travels pretty fast. Before I could get to your uncle, I heard the bank was robbed. I just got in and Tagg told me you were over here. What's the trouble? Mr. Sterling. He's dead.
Chet.
I didn't kill him. I walked in here and somebody slugged me. I didn't even see Uncle Frank.
His gun ought to tell the story.
Let's see your six-shooter, Chet. One shell has been fired.
That's impossible. I cleaned that gun after I fired it this morning.
Is the barrel clean, Lofty?
Well, Craig, what's going on here?
Well, we're just...
We'd like to know what you're doing here, Mr. Barton.
I don't have to answer your...
I'll ask it, Trem. What are you doing here?
Well, nothing really. Frank Sterling's an old friend. I saw the light, thought I'd drop in for a chat. Where is Frank?
Frank Sterling's been murdered. I'm holding Chet. I'll ask you to verify that one cartridge out of his six-shooter's been fired.
Oh, wait a minute, Lofty. I want to see the gun before...
Never hand a man a cocked gun like that, Craig. Now 2 cartridges have been fired.
I wish that hadn't happened. I'll have to lock you up, Chet.
I'll hold his gun, Lofty.
Here. You did that on purpose.
Chet's gun has a hair trigger. You must have discovered that when you fired it a few minutes ago.
Well, yes, it has, but... Craig, I demand you organize a posse and get Chet Sterling.
He got away in my horse.
Just how far do you think you'll get till daylight?
And she's right, Trem.
There is one thing you can do, though, Lofty. Arrest Trem Barton for Frank Sterling's murder.
What? Oh, you little wildcat.
Handcuff him to the wagon, Lofty. I want to show you something. This is Chet's six-shooter. If it killed Frank Sterling, it had to be with the first cartridge fired, right?
Right.
See that cut? I made it and one like it on every cartridge in Trem Barton's gun and belt. There's his gun. Take a look.
How'd the fired shell get in Chet's gun?
Well, we could ask Barton, but I think I can tell you. Chet said somebody slugged him when he walked into the office. That'd be Trem, after Trem had killed Frank Sterling. Then he switched the cartridges and left.
And when Trem fired that shot through Chet's clean gun, you ruined any chance Chet might have had for an alibi.
That's right. For a minute, I sure thought you had the boy.
All right, Craig, let's get out of here.
Where's that bank loot now?
In Uncle Luke's office.
With just Tagg to guard it?
Why not? Even Trem Barton wouldn't rob the sheriff's office.
You're wrong, Annie. I'm the man who is going to rob the sheriff's office. Now go the back way, and if either one of you give me any trouble, I'll blast you in 2 with this six-shooter. Drop your gun, Annie. Go ahead.
Trim, Barton, what are you...
Shut up. Get over there. Where are the bonds and the money?
I don't know.
Where are they?
They're in the bottom drawer of the desk.
Get over there. There aren't going to be any witnesses. This is Chet Sterling's six-shooter. There are still 3 unfired cartridges in it. It'll be found here with your bodies. Let's make it ladies first, shall we?
From here by now.
I'm not running away from a murder I didn't commit. I quit Lofty's horse a block from the bank. I'm no horse thief either, and sneaked back. When you left Uncle Frank's office, I picked up your gun and followed you here. I waited as long as I dared. I wanted to see how far Trem Barton would go. He went the whole distance, all right.
And so did you, Chet.
Right. You know, when I get around to making up my list of the all right people in this town, you're gonna be right up there on top.
You really mean that, Annie?
I never meant anything more.
I told you he was a good guy.
And my brother knows a good guy when he sees one.
Gosh.